3 cursed places, 3 nights of terror, each story darker, each moment more unsettling than the last. You will meet restless spirits, haunted trains, and houses that wait for you in the shadows. Dare to enter if you think you can survive.
They say no one truly leaves the Ashwood Motel. You might check out at the desk, but the motel always keeps a piece of you inside. Whispers in the Ashwood Motel. I check into the Ashwood Motel on a rainy night. The neon sign flickers like it's struggling to stay alive, and the receptionist doesn't even look up when I enter. He just slides the key across the counter with a hand that trembles too much for someone so young. Room 6, that's mine. The hallway smells of mildew and something faintly metallic, like old blood. The carpet squelches under my boots as if it remembers every footstep that has passed here. I tell myself it's just water from the storm, but deep down, I know it isn't. Inside, the room is worse. Wallpaper peeling like dead skin, a television that hisses static even when unplugged, and a mirror nailed to the wall opposite the bed. I don't like mirrors, especially when they feel like they're watching me. I lock the door. I check the windows. Still, the air is too heavy, as if the walls are leaning in. I tried to sleep, but then the whispers start. At first, I think it's the storm leaking through thin walls, but it's not rain. It's voices. Soft, broken voices. Some laugh. Some cry. All of them breathe my name. I sit up. The television is on again, static crawling across the screen like white insects. In the glass of the mirror, I see movement, shapes shifting behind me. I spin around. Nothing. But in the mirror, they remain. Figures. Long-limbed. Faceless, bending in unnatural ways. They crowd around my reflection, not me. When I blink, they're closer. One of them tilts its head as if listening to my heart pound. I throw the blanket over the mirror. The whispers stop. The silence is worse. The phone rings. I don't remember seeing a phone in the room, but it's on the nightstand now, black and old-fashioned, the kind with a rotary dial. It rings again, shrill, demanding. Against my better judgment, I answer. No voice, just breathing. Room 6. A rasp finally says, "You shouldn't be here." The line goes dead. I want to leave, but when I grab the door handle, it doesn't move. The lock is gone. Not broken, gone, as if it was never there. The whispers return, louder. The blanket over the mirror slides down on its own, and the reflection is no longer mine. It's me, yes, but older, rotted, hollow-eyed. Behind that version of me, the figures swarm, their hands reaching through the glass. I stumble back, but the room stretches longer with each step. The bed is now far away. The window shows not rain, but black trees pressed against the glass, branches scratching like nails. The reflection speaks. My own mouth moves in the mirror, but not here. You checked in, but you'll never check out. The figures crawl through. Their limbs bend backward as they spill into the room, dragging shadows with them. They smell of soil and rust. One grabs my ankle. The touch burns cold like frostbite spreading through my veins. I kick, scream, but my voice is swallowed by the static, by the laughter. I make it to the window. I smash it with the lamp. Glass cuts my hand, but I don't care. I climb through. Outside is not outside. It's another hallway. The same mildew carpet, the same flickering lights. The doors stretch endlessly, each marked with a number. 6, 6, 6. I run. No matter how far the signs repeat, my footsteps echo with others not my own. The figures stalk me through every reflection and broken glass, every shadow on the wall. Finally, I see the neon glow, the lobby. The receptionist waits this time, though. His eyes are hollow sockets. He asks, "Check out?" I nod, shaking, bleeding. He hands me a key. It's the same one, room 6. The door slammed behind me. I am still there, forever.
They told me never to ride the last train out of Hollowbrook, but tonight I had no choice, and now the train won't stop. The last train to Hollowbrook. The platform is nearly empty when I arrive. Midnight. The rain clings to the rails like oil, and the distant whistle cuts through the fog. The last train groans into the station. Its windows are dark, carriages ancient, paint flaking like diseased skin. I hesitate, but the signboard blinks. Hollowbrook, last departure. I step inside. The carriage smells of damp wood and something acrid, like burnt hair. Only a few passengers sit scattered. A woman with a veil over her face, a man in a coat too heavy for summer, and an old couple who never blink. None of them look at me. I take a seat. The doors slam shut with a finality that rattles my bones. The train lurches forward. At first, it's ordinary. Dark fields sweeping past, trees bending in the storm. But soon the scenery changes. The night outside becomes wrong, too dark. Shapes flicker between the trees, running alongside the train, pale and skeletal. The woman with the veil hums a tune that makes my stomach twist. I can't place the melody. It's not human. The man in the heavy coat leans closer. His breath smells of soil. "Missed the earlier train, did you?" he rasps. I nod cautiously. His smile cracks wide, splitting too far. "Then you'll ride it to the end." The lights flicker. When they return, the passengers are different. The couple are corpses now, eyes blackened, mouths stitched. The veiled woman lifts her veil. Her jaw unhinges, opening wider than her skull should allow. I stagger back, rushing through the carriage door. The next car is empty, completely, except for the conductor at the far end. He wears a cap pulled low, his uniform shredded. His face is shadow. "Ticket?" he demands, voice hollow. I fumble. I never bought a ticket. My pocket holds only the key to my flat. But when I pull it out, it's no longer a key. It's a strip of paper, a ticket. The conductor snatches it, fingers too long, stretching like ropes. "You're marked. Now sit." I don't. I run, car after car, each worse than the last. In one, seats are filled with skeletons slumped forward, clutching faded tickets. In another, children sing without mouths, their voices spilling from empty throats. The train is endless. My legs burn, but the cars keep coming. Every window shows not countryside, but tunnels of bone and screaming faces pressed against the glass. At last I reach the front. The engine, steam hisses, choking hot and wet. The driver stands at the controls, or what's left of him. His skull is bare, his hands fused to the levers. He turns, no eyes, just holes burning with coal fire. Can't stop, not ever. The train screams into a tunnel. The walls close in, covered with carvings of people clawing at the stone. I pound at the door, desperate to escape, but the handle dissolves in my grip like ash. Behind me, the conductor and the passengers approach, their bodies bending, breaking, too many limbs spilling from their frames. They chant in unison, "One more for Hollowbrook, one more forever." The driver laughs, a sound of rust and flame. "You're on the last ride now. There's no station ahead." The tunnel swallows everything.
They said the old house on Morrow Street was abandoned, but when I stepped inside at dusk, the house was waiting for me. The house that waits at dusk. The sun bleeds into the horizon as I stand before the house. Its windows are black, like sockets without eyes, and its door sags on rusted hinges. I shouldn't be here, but curiosity, or maybe something else, pulls me across the yard. Inside, the air is thick. The smell of rot clings to the peeling wallpaper, and the floorboards groan with every step. Dust drifts lazily in the last strands of sunlight. The living room feels staged, a chair in the corner, its cushions sunken as though someone still sits there, a clock on the mantel, hands frozen at 6:13, a family portrait on the wall, the faces blurred, smeared as if melted. I tell myself it's just an old ruin, yet the silence is alive. I can feel it watching. I climb the stairs. Each step protests with a groan, like bones breaking. The hallway is narrow, lined with doors slightly ajar. Behind one, I hear whispering. Behind another, a slow scraping as though fingernails drag across wood. I push open the nearest door. The bedroom is empty, almost. The bed is made too neatly, sheets tucked so tight they look unused, but there are indentations, two shapes, side by side, as though someone had just gotten up. Then the closet door creaks. I freeze. The gap widens on its own. Darkness spills out, thick and heavy. From inside, something exhales. I slam the door shut. My hands shake, my chest tight. I stumble back into the hall. The house shifts. The stairs are no longer behind me. The hall stretches farther, with more doors than before. I run,
but every door I open reveals the same room, the bed, the closet, the breath. Finally, I burst through one door and find the kitchen. It's wrong. The counters are stacked with dishes covered in mold, cutlery rusted, but the stove glows with heat. On the table sits a meal, meat still steaming. Though the house has been abandoned for decades, a chair scrapes. Someone invisible sits down. I hear chewing, loud, wet tearing. I flee again. The walls close in. The air smells of dirt, of graves. My head spins and the whispers return. Stay, stay, stay. The front door appears at last. Relief floods me. I throw it open, but outside is not outside. It's the same hallway upstairs, doors stretching forever. One door slams behind me, then another. Each one opens on its own, and shapes crawl out, too long, too thin. Faces melted like the portrait downstairs. They whisper in unison, "You came at dusk. Now you stay till dawn." I scream, running blindly, until the house itself breathes. The walls pulse, the floor cracks like ribs, and then I understand. The house isn't haunted. The house is alive, and it's hungry.
If you survived these horrors, you've only scratched the surface. There are more nightmares waiting, each darker than the last. Subscribe now and never miss a story from the shadows. New horror tales regularly.